Hey, how's it going, everyone? This is Charles with what's going to count as the Wednesday edition of Charles Snyder Raw, the Hump Day version. Hey, it's actually Thursday, and I'm playing catch up with all these videos, so trying to get caught up today so that Friday and this weekend I can work on some other stuff. Like the 1 minute marketing videos that I was unable to post for, well, pretty much the last 2 weeks. Trying not to get too far behind on that. So that's kind of what the plan is. So let's see how that kind of works out. But as I stated with the last video that I did to take the place of Training Tuesday, I'm going to take another question from the audience. Again, this question has been sent to us on Quora, and just going to add a couple little pointers in there because there's already a couple good answers, so I'm not going to really rehash what they have to say. Probably the best answer so far that I've seen on here is from Ryan. And, Ryan is pretty well on point with the information that he has given you. Well, let me back up. The question is, as you can see here, is how can Facebook Pixel improve my online marketing efforts of my online store? Well, as I stated, Ryan has a lot of valid points. But what I want you to think of here, or kind of the point I want to make, is without it, you're flying blind. Think of trying to drive traffic on your website without any kind of analytics, whether it's Google Analytics, Facebook Pixel, Google Pixel, or any number of the other tracking programs or scripts that you can add to your site. There's a lot of different ones out there. So let me put this into perspective for you. Essentially trying to run a business website offering products or services, especially in e-commerce websites such as an online store. If you don't have those analytics, you don't know where the people are coming from, you don't know where they're going, you don't know what they're spending their time on, and you know nothing about the people that are actually looking at your products, who it is most appealing to. And that could be a lot of things. It could be male or female, could be their age, could be their income bracket. It could be where they found your store from. Was it from social media? Was it from a search engine? Was it from another website or from advertising that you may already be running? Without analytics, how do you know where that stuff even comes from? It's kind of like trying to drive down a very busy highway with your eyes closed. Sooner or later, it's going to turn into a wreck. The same thing applies to driving traffic to your website, to your offer, to your products or services. If you have your eyes closed, you don't know anything about the people that are visiting your store and what appeals to them. You have no means of knowing what works better than what doesn't. And there's a lot of different ways of looking at that. I mean, you can look at your marketing and your advertising. You can do like split testing with that to see what appeals better, because you talk to men differently than you talk to women. You talk to a 24-year-old a lot differently than you talk to a 44-year-old. There's differences there. You talk to someone that has a college education a lot different than you talk to someone who doesn't even have a high school diploma. There's different ways of talking and appealing to those kinds of people, and without Facebook Pixel or some kind of analytics, how do you know who you're talking to? How do you know how to talk to them? How do you even manage to retarget an audience afterwards? That's the beauty of the Facebook Pixel and the other tracking scripts, is that you know these kind of things. You can run specific advertising campaigns to males in their 50s as opposed to females in their 20s. Two very different types of people, very different types of messages. I don't even know what your products or services are, but it applies no matter what it is. Even in marketing, I have to talk to the older age set, someone who's, say, a business owner in their 50s, as opposed to someone that's a entrepreneur, someone that wants to someday maybe own a business that's 20 years old. Two very different audiences, and without some kind of means of differentiating that, knowing some of that information, you don't know how to talk to that audience. Who are the people that find your products the most enticing? Who are the people that are most ready to buy from you? And without analytics, without the Facebook pixel, you can't know that. It's like, it's basically like I described to a friend of mine a couple weeks ago. Having a business without marketing it is kind of like winking at a very good-looking woman in the dark. She didn't see you wink. No one else seen you wink. You're the only one that knows that you just winked at her. Nothing changes. However, you turn the lights on, marketing, letting people know you exist, then you can have a water stand out in the middle of the desert that people come to. Otherwise, you're just a water stand out in the middle of the desert that no one knows about. It's kind of like having a business, and nothing wrong with small town America, but if you live out in the middle of nowhere and the next closest neighbor is a couple miles away and you hang a sign out in front of your business, no one knows you exist. The same applies to having an online business, because there's just so many different websites, there's so many different advertisements and stuff. If you are not specifically narrowing down, niching down to your market, the one that you're most apply to, or for the people that find your stuff the most appealing, you're wasting money, or no one knows about you. There's just no way of knowing anything. It's kind of like taking your car to a garage and saying, hey, my car's broke, and then walking away. What's the mechanic supposed to do? If you're at all familiar with it, there's so many different components and everything that goes into a vehicle, and so many different, what's the problem? That's the first thing. What does it start? Does it make a lot of noise when it's running? Does it just shut off on its own? Is it hard to steer? Does it pull to the right? Does it pull to the left? Is there no brakes? What's the problem? Without some kind of analytics on your website or on your online store, your landing pages, even your social media and your emails, if you don't have that stuff in place, how could you possibly know what's wrong with your marketing? What's wrong with your advertising? That's why it's extremely important to have analytics. And if you're planning on doing any kind of advertising on Facebook, the Facebook pixel is as essential as your left arm is to whatever it is that you do. If you have a left arm and it's attached to your body, I'm pretty sure you want to keep it. Facebook pixel goes hand in hand with Facebook advertising and Instagram advertising, for that matter. You need the pixel in order to properly market and advertise on the Facebook platform or the Instagram platform. That's it. That does it for today with the Hump Day edition. I'm out of here. I got to get done. I'm going to try and get another video banged out tonight. Not sure if I'm going to have time to do it, but hey, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have more questions, please be sure to ask them on our website, on Quora, or Facebook, whichever the case may be. Be sure to pop by and like all of our social media. Follow me on Quora. Like our Facebook page, Charles E. Snyder III Marketing. And be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, too. Anyway, I'm out of here. That finishes the Hump Day edition of Charles Snyder Raw. Love, peace, and chicken grease.